Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going deep on crypto in India. I know it's a topic a lot of you have been asking about.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
sent in tons of articles and research, even some handwritten notes, so it looks like you've been doing your homework.
It's great to see that kind of enthusiasm.
But let's be real, crypto can be a bit of a jungle, right?
Definitely. Lots of jargon and hype to sift through.
Exactly. So don't worry, we're here to help you hack through all of it.
We'll clear a path for you.
We'll unpack the legal stuff, the tax situation, and most importantly, how to avoid those scams, those rug pulls.
Absolutely. Gotta stay safe out there.
Ready to decode crypto in India.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so first things first, let's take a step back.
Back to basics.
For someone totally new to this,
Yeah.
what even is crypto? I mean, like beyond the buzzwords, what's the core idea?
Imagine if money could exist and be exchanged without needing banks or governments to oversee it.
Okay, that's pretty radical when you think about it.
It is, and that's the essence of cryptocurrency. It's digital money that uses cryptography for security
Gotcha, so it's secure.
and operates on a blockchain, a decentralized public ledger that records every single transaction.
So like a digital record-keeping system, but spread across a ton of computers.
Exactly. Think of it like a giant shared spreadsheet.
Okay, that makes sense. No single authority calling the shots.
Right. And that's a big part of what draws people to crypto decentralization and cutting out the middleman.
For sure. But that probably brings a whole set of new challenges to
Oh,
it.
absolutely. It's a double-edged sword.
Okay, speaking of challenges, let's talk about the big question. Is crypto even legal in India?
Well, it's not illegal to buy and sell crypto in India.
Okay, so there's a distinction there.
Definitely. The government's approach to regulation has been cautious, though.
I've been hearing a lot about a wait-and-see approach.
Exactly. They're still figuring out how to fit crypto into existing financial frameworks.
So not exactly a warm embrace.
Not yet, but also not an outright ban, like we see in some other countries.
It sounds like a bit of a tightrope walk, honestly.
It is, and one way the government's asserting its control is through taxation.
Right? Gotta talk about taxes.
Any profits you make from crypto are taxed at a hefty 30%, similar to gambling winnings.
Ouch, 30%. That's a serious chunk of change.
It is, and there's also a 1% TDS, or tax deducted at source, on all transactions above 50,000.
So even if you're just buying or selling, they're keeping tabs.
Yes, they are.
So what about offsetting losses?
Yeah.
If they're taxing profits, you can deduct losses, right?
Unfortunately, no, not currently anyway.
Really?
You can't offset losses against crypto gains in India right now.
Wow. So if you win, the government takes a cut, but if you lose, you're on your own.
Exactly. So it's definitely something to consider before jumping in.
Yeah, that adds to the risk for sure.
For sure, it makes the risk profile pretty unique.
So have there been any recent updates on the regulatory front at all?
Well, the government introduced the IT bill, which classified crypto as virtual digital assets, or VDAs.
VDAs. Okay, so not officially legal tender like rupees, but at least a step towards acknowledging and regulating crypto.
Exactly. It's a sign they're moving towards a more defined framework.
Okay, so baby steps.
Baby steps, yeah, but India's approach is still quite slow compared to other countries.
So where does India stand in the global landscape? Are there countries that are embracing it full on, clear regulations?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, give me some examples.
The US, for instance, has taken a pretty interesting approach, treating Bitcoin like digital gold.
Like digital gold. Okay.
It's even attracted investment from big players like Elon Musk.
Bitcoin getting the star treatment, huh?
You could say that, yeah.
Okay, what about Europe? What's their take on crypto?
The EU is actually ahead of the curve. They've got clear laws for crypto businesses.
Oh, wow. So they've already got a more structured approach.
So they're creating a more transparent and stable environment.
Okay, so US is like digital gold. EU's got it regulated. Are there any countries that have just gone full crypto haven?
The UAE and Singapore come to mind. They're rolling out the red carpet for crypto and Web3 startups.
Makes sense. They're already global finance hubs.
Exactly. Embracing crypto seems like a natural next step for them.
Okay, what about countries going the opposite direction, stricter regulations? Any success stories there?
Definitely, Japan and South Korea have implemented strict but transparent rules.
Interesting. So a spectrum of approaches out there. But one thing's for sure, crypto isn't going anywhere.
Absolutely not. It's only getting more intertwined with the global financial system.
Okay, enough with the serious stuff for now.
Time for something a little more exciting.
Let's talk about scam coins.
Yeah, juicy stuff.
I know this is a topic a lot of our listeners are concerned about, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. The promise of quick riches in the crypto world attracts a lot of bad actors.
And India's seen its fair share of those.
It has. The allure of 100x returns in 3 months is often just a trap.
It's like the siren song of the crypto world.
It is, luring people in with promises that are too good to be true.
So let's unveil those siren songs. Break down some of the most notorious scam coins that have targeted Indian investors.
Let's start with the poster child for crypto scams in India, Gain Bitcoin.
Okay, Gain Bitcoin. Lay it on me. What was their deal?
They position themselves as a cloud mining operation, claiming to offer investors lucrative returns on their Bitcoin investments.
Cloud mining, so basically selling the idea of mining Bitcoin on your behalf.
Exactly. It sounds convenient, but also ripe for exploitation if there's no transparency.
Right, because how do you know they're actually doing what they say they're doing?
Exactly, and that was a big red flag with Gain Bitcoin.
So they were promising these incredible returns, but it was all a facade.
It was all facade.
And how did they manage to rope so many people in?
They implemented a classic multi-level marketing structure.
Ugh, the pyramid scheme rears its ugly head.
Right, encouraging investors to recruit new members with the promise of even higher returns.
A classic tactic to rope in more victims and create that illusion of success.
Exactly. It's all about creating a chain reaction where people are incentivized to bring in more and more people.
Fueling this scam until it inevitably implodes.
Inevitably.
So people started catching on eventually, though, right?
Eventually, yeah, the cracks started to show when investors had trouble withdrawing their funds.
Right. Those unrealistic returns can't be maintained forever.
No, and the whole thing began to unravel.
Did the authorities step in at that point?
They did. In 2018, Amit Bhardwaj and his associates were arrested by the Pune police for orchestrating this massive Ponzi scheme.
Wow, so this wasn't some small-time operation.
No, not at all. The scale of it was so significant that even the CBI stepped in to investigate.
Really?
It involved international connections and money laundering. It was huge.
So how much money are we talking about here?
It's estimated that victims lost a staggering 6,600 crore.
That's like, what, almost $1 billion?
Yeah, roughly $800 million.
Wow, that's just devastating. Thousands of investors across India were affected.
It was a huge blow to the Indian crypto community.
It's a stark reminder that even in this seemingly cutting-edge world of crypto, those same old scams can still thrive.
Absolutely. It's a cautionary tale for anyone entering the crypto space.
Okay, so Gain Bitcoin, that's one down, and unfortunately, I have a feeling there are many more to go in our crypto scam coin hall of shame.
Oh, you're right about that.
Okay, so who's next?
Let's move on to another infamous player in the world of scam coins, OneCoin.
Okay, OneCoin. Now, this one definitely rings a bell.
This one made international headlines.
Yeah, it did. So refresh my memory. What was their whole deal?
OneCoin was marketed as the next big thing, a revolutionary cryptocurrency that would surpass Bitcoin.
Okay, so playing on that FOMO, that fear of missing out.
Exactly. But behind the glossy marketing and promises of sky-high returns was a web of deceit.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this OneCoin saga.
It was the brainchild of a woman who became known as the crypto queen, Russia Ignatova.
The crypto queen, love that.
She launched OneCoin in 2014, promising investors those insane returns, presenting herself as a visionary leader.
Okay, I'm picturing a movie about this already.
Oh, there's definitely a movie in there somewhere.
But what was the reality behind the glitz and the glamour?
The reality was that OneCoin lacked a fundamental element of a legitimate cryptocurrency, a genuine blockchain.
Wait, they weren't even using a real blockchain.
Nope. They were operating on a private database, which gave them complete control over coin values and transactions.
So they were basically rigging the system from the start.
Essentially, yes.
It's a huge red flag. How did they get away with that for so long?
Despite warnings from financial authorities around the world, people got caught up in the hype.
The hype machine is strong.
It is, and OneCoin's aggressive multi-level marketing structure only fueled it further.
So the same MLM playbook as Gain Bitcoin, recruit, recruit, recruit.
Exactly. They incentivized investors to bring in new members, promising them commissions and bonuses based on their recruits' investments.
Classic pyramid scheme structure.
Exactly, and this allowed them to amass billions of dollars from unsuspecting victims.
Okay, so this crypto queen, did she ever get caught?
That's where things get even wilder. In 2017, at the peak of OneCoin's success, Russia Ignatova vanished without a trace.
She just disappeared.
What?
With billions of dollars.
Yep. Gone, vanished into thin air.
That's straight out of a Hollywood thriller.
It really is, and it adds to the mystique of the whole OneCoin scam.
So what about her associates? Did they face any consequences?
Although Russia remains at large, several other key figures involved in the scheme have been arrested and convicted.
So at least some measure of justice was served.
Some, but the case of OneCoin serves as a stark reminder that even in the decentralized world of crypto, scams can operate on a global scale.
And recovering those stolen funds can be incredibly difficult.
Incredibly difficult, if not impossible.
2 down, gain Bitcoin, and OneCoin. And I'm guessing there are many more where those came from.
Oh, unfortunately, there are many more.
Okay, well, let's keep unveiling these scams then.
All right, next up, we have not one, but two scams operating under the name KBC Coin.
KBC Coin, hold on, isn't that like the name of a popular Indian TV show?
It is. They were cleverly exploiting the popularity of Khan Banega Kurapati.
Wow, using the name of a beloved TV show to run a scam? That's pretty low.
It is. They were banking on people's familiarity and trust in the show.
So tell me about these KBC Coin scams. How did they work?
The first one involved a coin called Carat Gold Coin, or KBC. They marketed themselves as a cryptocurrency backed by gold.
Digital gold. Sounds tempting, but what was the catch?
Well, there was very little transparency about their actual gold reserves.
Of course.
And like the previous scams, they relied heavily on a multi-level marketing structure.
Ah, that pyramid scheme structure popping up again.
Yep, pushing investors to recruit more people to earn commissions.
So what about the second KBC coin scam? How did they use the show's name?
This one was even bolder. They directly used the Khan Banega Kurapati name and imagery.
So they were really trying to capitalize on the show's popularity.
They were targeting individuals familiar with the show, hoping to gain their trust.
Did they face any legal repercussions for that?
They did. Police in Mumbai arrested several individuals connected to the second KBC coin scam,
Good. They shouldn't be able to get away with that.
including the alleged mastermind, Pritam Patil, who had reportedly defrauded numerous victims using this scheme.
That's good to hear. It's reassuring to know that even when scammers try to exploit something like a beloved TV show, justice can still prevail.
It's a reminder that no matter how clever or convincing a scam might seem, there are always authorities working to protect people.
Okay, 3 down, gain Bitcoin, OneCoin, and the double whammy of the KBC coin scams. Is there any end to these crypto con artists?
Unfortunately, no. There have been many more scams that have targeted investors in India,
Ugh, I was afraid you were going to say that.
each with its own unique twist on deception.
Okay, well, we've got to keep exposing them then.
We do. The more informed people are, the better.
So who's next on our list?
Let's talk about Money Trade Coin, or MTC.
Money Trade Coin. Okay, what was their angle?
They arrived on the scene with a familiar refrain: promises of huge returns and innovative financial solutions.
Sounds like a broken record at this point. But what was their unique approach?
They offered investment opportunities in their own proprietary cryptocurrency, Money Trade Coin,
Okay, so pushing their own coin.
claiming to generate high returns through various schemes, including staking and trading services.
So they were claiming to have these magical profit-generating strategies. What were the red flags here?
As with many of these scams, the red flags were a lack of transparency about their operations and leadership team.
So no real faces behind the operation.
Exactly. They made grand claims about their trading algorithms and their ability to generate consistent profits, but there is very little verifiable information.
Okay, so basically, if you can't find any credible info about a company or its team, it's best to just walk away.
Precisely. Always do your due diligence before investing in any cryptocurrency project.
What should people be looking for specifically?
Look for a readily available white paper that outlines the technology, a team with verifiable credentials, and a track record of legitimate activity.
Solid advice. Don't just blindly trust what you see on the internet.
No, do your own research and verify everything before you invest.
Okay, so Money Trade Coin, another one for the Hall of Shame?
Yep, another one bites the dust.
Okay, so who's next on our crypto cautionary tales list?
Let's talk about Regal Coin.
Regal Coin. Okay, what's their story?
Regal Coin, launched in 2017, was a cryptocurrency investment platform that borrowed heavily from the playbook of the infamous BitConnect scam.
BitConnect, was that a huge one?
Oh yeah, one of the biggest.
Okay, so how did Regal Coin try to emulate that?
They promised investors substantial returns through a lending program, advertising an eye-popping 45% monthly return.
45% monthly return? That's not even a red flag. It's a full-blown alarm bell going off.
You're telling me it was a classic Ponzi scheme where early investors were paid with funds from new recruits?
So the same old story, just dressed up differently.
Exactly. They also had strict withdrawal restrictions.
Oh, I've heard about that, making it difficult for investors to access their money.
Right. It's a common tactic in these scams. Prevents a mass exodus when people start getting suspicious.
So they were essentially holding people's money hostage while the scam was running.
Essentially, yes, and it allows the scammers to keep the money flowing in for as long as possible.
So what was the eventual outcome of the Regal coin scheme?
As with all Ponzi schemes, the music eventually stopped.
The party's over.
The party's over, Regal coin collapsed, the token's value plummeted, and investors were left holding the bag.
Another cautionary tale. And it seems like we're seeing a recurring pattern here.
Definitely.
Unrealistic promises of high returns, a lack of transparency, a reliance on multi-level marketing structures, and withdrawal restrictions.
You got it. Those are the red flags to watch out for.
The constant game of cat and mouse between scammers and investors.
It is. The scammers are always coming up with new tricks, and it's up to investors to stay informed and be vigilant.
Okay, so we've uncovered Gain Bitcoin, OneCoin, the KBC coin scams, Money Trade Coin, and Regal Coin. Is there any end to these crypto con artists?
Sadly, no. But let's take a break here, catch our breath.
Sounds good. We'll be back with more crypto cautionary tales in just a bit.
Stay tuned. It's true. There's always another scam lurking around the corner.
Okay, so let's get back to our crypto rogues gallery.
Back to it.
We've covered some big names already. Gain Bitcoin, OneCoin, those KBC coin scams, all pretty audacious in their own ways.
Definitely some bold moves.
But I'm sure there are more stories where those came from.
Oh, absolutely. Plenty more.
Okay, so who's up next?
Let's talk about BitConnect, a scam that gained notoriety for its aggressive marketing tactics.
BitConnect, yeah, that name rings a bell. Weren't they one of the first major crypto scams to make international headlines?
They were, yeah. BitConnect launched in 2016, offering users the opportunity to lend their Bitcoin in exchange for BitConnect coin, or BCC.
BCC. Right.
And they claimed to have this sophisticated trading bot that could generate daily returns as high as 1%.
Right. Percent daily returns? Come
Yeah.
on, that's just ridiculous. Even the most successful investors in the world don't see those kinds of consistent gains.
Exactly. It was a classic case of, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
But people bought it.
Hook, line, and sinker.
What? Were they just blinded by dollar signs?
Pretty much, people got swept up in the hype, fueled by BitConnect's elaborate marketing campaigns, celebrity endorsements, and of course, their multi-level marketing structure.
So, same tactics as the other scams we've discussed.
Yeah.
Creating a facade of legitimacy and then using MLM to spread the word and rope in more victims.
Exactly. It's a tried and true formula for scammers.
So the house of cards had to crumble eventually, right?
Oh, yeah, it did. Investors started having trouble withdrawing their funds, regulatory scrutiny intensified, authorities in the U.S. issued cease and desist orders.
So the hammer finally came down?
It did. In January 2018, BitConnect abruptly shut down its platform.
Just like that.
Just like that, leading to a massive sell-off of BCC and a dramatic plunge in its value.
So another rug pull.
A massive one. Thousands of investors worldwide were left with substantial losses.
How much are we talking about here?
Estimates suggest total losses exceeding $2 billion.
$2 billion. Wow. What happened to the people behind BitConnect?
There were multiple lawsuits filed against them. Investigations were launched in different countries.
But did they face any real consequences?
Well, the founders of BitConnect have managed to evade capture.
Really? They're still out there.
Their current whereabouts are unknown.
So they got away with it.
Essentially, yes.
It's infuriating, it seems like these scammers are always one step ahead.
It can definitely feel that way. The decentralized and often anonymous nature of the crypto world makes it difficult to track them down.
So another reminder that while crypto offers many exciting possibilities, it's also a breeding ground for scams.
A breeding ground, you could say that.
Okay, let's move on to another scam that preyed on unsuspecting investors, this time in India specifically.
All right, let's talk about Morris Coin.
Morris Coin. Okay, I haven't heard of this one. What's the story?
Morris Coin emerged in 2018, primarily targeting investors in the southern states of India.
Okay, so a more localized scam.
They presented themselves as a legitimate digital currency with enormous potential for high returns.
Okay, so far, sounds familiar.
Right. Their scheme involved enticing investors with this seemingly straightforward investment plan.
Okay, what was the plan?
Put in $15,000, and you'd get a fixed daily return of $270 for 300 days.
A fixed daily return. That sounds way too good to be true.
It was. That daily return amounted to a 540% return over the investment period.
540%. That's just insane. No legitimate investment could consistently generate those kinds of returns.
Exactly. That was a huge red flag.
Were there any other warning signs?
There was minimal transparency about their technology, no legitimate exchanges listing their coin.
So no real substance behind those flashy promises?
None whatsoever. They relied heavily on word-of-mouth marketing and social media hype.
So what happened to Morris Coin and the people behind it?
Thankfully, the authorities caught up with them.
Good.
In 2020, the alleged mastermind behind Morris Coin, Nishad K, was arrested by Kerala police.
Okay, so they didn't completely disappear with people's money.
No, the enforcement directorate also stepped in, seizing assets worth 14 crore linked to the scam.
So they were able to recover some of the funds.
Some, but it's estimated that over 1.1 million investors fell victim to this scam,
Wow, that's a lot of people.
with potential losses exceeding 3,000 crore.
Another massive scam with countless victims. It's a reminder that these schemes can affect people from all walks of life.
Absolutely, and the financial consequences can be devastating.
It highlights the need for increased awareness and education about crypto scams, especially in regions where crypto adoption is on the rise.
For sure, education is key.
Okay, so Morris Coin, another cautionary tale. Let's keep going. Who's next?
Let's talk about Ubitcoin.
Ubitcoin. That name doesn't sound familiar at all. What's the story behind this one?
Well, that's part of the problem. There's very little credible information available about Ubitcoin.
Really?
It might have been a lesser-known cryptocurrency, or possibly just a fabricated name used to create a fake investment opportunity.
So a ghost coin, essentially. A scam that flew under the radar.
Exactly, and the lack of information itself is a huge red flag.
So if you can't find any solid info about a coin or a project, just steer clear.
Absolutely. Stick to well-known and established cryptocurrencies listed on reputable exchanges.
Makes sense? Don't go chasing after those obscure coins when there are plenty of reputable options available.
Right. Stick with what you know and what you can verify.
Okay, good advice. Who else do we need to talk about?
Let's revisit OneCoin for a moment. There are some additional insights we can glean from this global phenomenon.
The crypto queen who vanished into thin air with billions of dollars. What more is there to learn?
Well, one of the key takeaways from OneCoin is that scammers often exploit the complexity of the crypto world to their advantage.
So playing on people's lack of knowledge.
Exactly. Many people were drawn to OneCoin because they didn't fully understand how cryptocurrencies worked.
They were just lured in by those promises of high returns without doing their due diligence.
Exactly. They didn't take the time to understand the underlying technology or verify the legitimacy of the project.
So knowledge is power. The more you understand about crypto, the less likely you are to fall for these scams.
Absolutely. That's why it's so important to do your research, learn the basics of blockchain technology.
Okay, so what specific red flags should people watch out for when evaluating a crypto project?
One big red flag is the lack of a genuine blockchain. OneCoin, despite all its hype, didn't have a real blockchain.
They were operating on a centralized database, which allowed them to manipulate everything behind the scenes.
Exactly. So if a project isn't transparent about its technology or can't provide evidence of a genuine blockchain, that's a major warning sign.
Okay, good to know. What else?
Another red flag is the heavy reliance on multi-level marketing structures.
Ugh, the MLM structure again.
While MLM itself isn't illegal, it's often used by scammers to create a pyramid-like system that prioritizes recruitment over the actual value of the product or service.
So if a crypto project is pushing you to recruit new members and promising commissions, that's a sign to be very cautious.
Very cautious. Always ask yourself, is this project focused on building a sustainable ecosystem, creating real value, or is it just about getting more people to join and invest?
Great advice. So if someone wants to invest in crypto, what's the best way to avoid these scams?
Choose a reputable exchange, do your research, understand the technology, be skeptical of outlandish promises, and don't invest more than you can afford to lose.
And most importantly, be patient.
Yes, absolutely. Building wealth through crypto, like any investment, takes time.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the risks and pitfalls, but let's not forget that there are also legitimate projects and innovative ideas emerging in this space.
Oh, definitely. There are some really exciting things happening in the Indian crypto ecosystem.
Okay, tell me more about that. What are some of the positive developments?
Well, despite the regulatory uncertainties, India has a vibrant community of developers and entrepreneurs who are passionate about blockchain technology.
So there's a lot of potential for growth in the Indian crypto space.
A lot of potential. We're seeing the emergence of innovative projects in areas like decentralized finance or DeFi, non-fungible tokens or NFTs, and blockchain-based solutions for various industries.
So it seems like the Indian crypto landscape is evolving, despite the challenges.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see how the government's approach to regulation evolves in the coming years.
I think a clear regulatory framework could really help foster innovation and protect investors.
Absolutely. It would benefit everyone involved.
But for now, it's crucial for individuals to be informed, cautious, and skeptical when navigating the world of crypto in India.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, before we wrap up our discussion on crypto scams, let's highlight a few more cautionary tales.
More scams.
I know. But these demonstrate the evolving nature of these schemes. They're getting more sophisticated, mimicking legitimate businesses and projects.
Makes it even harder to discern fact from fiction.
Exactly. So let's keep pulling back the curtain on these scams.
Let's do it.
Let's start with ATC coin, a scam that tried to capitalize on the idea of being India's first cryptocurrency.
India's first? That's a bold claim.
It is. So tell me, what was their approach?
ATC Coin, launched in 2017 by Subhash Juria, heavily promoted itself as a pioneering cryptocurrency project in India.
Okay, so playing on that national pride.
Absolutely. And of course, they used a multi-level marketing structure.
That MLM structure again, not surprising at this point.
It's a classic. They encouraged investors to purchase ATC coins with promises of high returns and commissions for recruiting new members.
So same old playbook. But what made ATC coin stand out from the other scams?
One of their more audacious moves was to falsely claim endorsements from prominent figures like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett.
Really, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett endorsing a scam coin.
They even created fake websites and social media profiles to make these endorsements seem credible.
Wow, they were really going all out. Did it work?
Unfortunately, it did for some. They were able to attract a significant number of investors who were drawn in by the hype.
So they were playing on people's desire to be part of something big and innovative.
Exactly. But it didn't take long for the authorities to catch on.
So what happened? Did they face any consequences?
In 2017, the Economic Offenses Wing of the Mumbai Police launched an investigation into ATC Coin Ltd.
They were on the case.
They uncovered that the company had illegally collected over 80 crore within just 5 months.
They were raking in the cash, but I'm guessing those funds weren't going towards any actual technology development.
You're right. The investigation revealed that the funds were being diverted into personal accounts and used to purchase properties.
Classic case of enriching themselves at the expense of others.
Exactly. So a case was registered against Subhash Juria and ATC Coin Ltd. under the Maharashtra Protection of Interest of Depositors Act.
So they were held accountable.
They were. Authorities seized over 60 crore in bank accounts and properties linked to Juria.
So some measure of justice was served.
Some, but it's still a reminder that even when scammers are caught, recovering stolen funds can be a long and difficult process.
It's a tough lesson to learn, but an important one. Okay, let's move on to our next cautionary tale. What else do you have for us?
Let's talk about Plus Token, a scam that primarily targeted investors in China and South Korea.
Plus Token. Okay, tell me more about this one.
Plus Token emerged in 2018, presenting itself as a cryptocurrency wallet and investment platform.
Okay, so a more tech-focused approach.
They promised high-yield returns through a native token called PLUS, claiming to generate profits through sophisticated cryptocurrency arbitrage trading.
Arbitrage trading, that sounds pretty complex.
It does, but it was all a smokescreen. Plus Token was, at its core, a classic Ponzi scheme.
So same old formula, just dressed up in fancy crypto terminology.
You got it. They were paying early investors with funds from new recruits.
How big did this Plus Token scam get?
By mid-2019, Plus Token had amassed an estimated $2 to $2.9 billion in cryptocurrencies.
Billions of dollars. That's one of the largest crypto scams in history.
It was a massive operation.
So what happened when the scheme collapsed?
The collapse of Plus Token in June 2019 sent shockwaves through the crypto community.
I bet it did.
It even caused fluctuations in the broader cryptocurrency market.
Really? Wow, so the impact was felt far beyond just the immediate victims.
Absolutely. The sell-off of stolen assets from Plus Token is believed to have contributed to a significant decline in Bitcoin's price during that period.
Wow, so it really highlights the interconnectedness of the crypto market.
It does, and the potential for large-scale scams to have ripple effects throughout the ecosystem.
What happened to the people behind Plus Token?
Chinese authorities launched a massive investigation, and in June 2019, 6 Chinese nationals associated with Plus Token were arrested.
So they didn't escape justice?
No, they were extradited to China to face charges.
Okay, good.
Eventually, a court in Jiangsu province sentenced the ringleaders to prison terms ranging from 2 to 11 years.
Wow, so they were held accountable. What about the stolen funds?
Authorities were able to seize some of the stolen cryptocurrencies, but a significant portion remains unaccounted for.
So another reminder that investing in crypto comes with inherent risks.
It does, and it's crucial to be aware of the potential for scams.
Okay, let's move on to another cautionary tale. What else do you have?
Let's talk about WoToken, a scam that demonstrates how scammers often exploit the allure of new and innovative crypto projects.
Wu token. All right, fill me in.
WoToken emerged in 2018 as a cryptocurrency wallet platform, promising users high returns through what they called an intelligent arbitrage trading algorithm.
Intelligent arbitrage. That sounds pretty high tech.
It was a clever marketing tactic, using technical jargon to create an aura of complexity and sophistication.
So, playing on people's lack of understanding about crypto.
Exactly. They knew that most people wouldn't fully understand how arbitrage trading works, so they could make bold claims without being challenged.
But what was WoToken really all about?
Behind the technical jargon and promises of high returns, WoToken was operating primarily as a multi-level marketing scheme, or MLM.
The MLM structure, again, it seems like a common thread in so many of these scams.
It is. MLM schemes can be very effective for scammers because they incentivize existing members to recruit new members.
Creating a pyramid-like structure that rapidly expands the reach of the scam.
Exactly. So what happened to WoToken?
Did they get away with it?
Fortunately, no. As users started having difficulty withdrawing their funds, Chinese authorities initiated investigations.
Okay, so the same pattern as Plus Token.
Very similar, and 6 individuals associated with WoToken were arrested and charged with organizing and leading a pyramid scheme.
So justice was served.
Yes, in December 2020, key operators of WoToken were sentenced to prison terms ranging from 2.5 to 8.8 years.
Okay, that's good to hear. What about the stolen funds?
The court also ordered the confiscation of assets totaling approximately $63.6 million.
So some of the funds were recovered.
Some, but a significant portion remains unaccounted for.
It's a reminder that even when scammers are brought to justice, recovering all the stolen funds can be extremely challenging.
It's a complex process, especially in the decentralized world of crypto.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here today, exploring a wide range of crypto scams, from those mimicking legitimate businesses to those exploiting the allure of cutting-edge technology.
It's been a wild ride through the dark side of crypto.
It has, and before we move on to the final segment of our deep dive, I want to touch on a project that's generated a lot of controversy.
Controversy?
Yeah, even though it's not technically a scam in the traditional sense.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Which project are we talking about?
WorldCoin.
Ah, WorldCoin. That's a fascinating one. It raises some important questions about the intersection of cryptocurrency, digital identity, and data privacy.
Okay, so let's break it down. What's WorldCoin all about?
WorldCoin, which was actually rebranded as World Network in 2024, is a cryptocurrency project co-founded by Sam Altman.
Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI.
The one and only.
Okay, so a pretty big name behind this one. What's their mission?
Their stated goal is to create a global digital currency that can effectively distinguish humans from artificial intelligence online.
Distinguish humans from AI. That's an interesting goal. Why is that so important?
They believe it's crucial in a world where bots and fake online identities are becoming increasingly prevalent.
Okay, I can see how that's becoming more and more relevant.
It is. The lines are getting blurry.
So how do they plan to achieve this human-AI distinction?
They've developed a digital identity verification system called World ID, which relies on iris scanning technology.
Iris scanning. Wow, so they're scanning people's eyes?
They are. They use a special device called the orb to do it.
The orb? Sounds a little sci-fi.
It does, but in exchange for participating in this biometric verification, users receive WLD tokens, their cryptocurrency.
So they're incentivizing people to hand over their biometric data.
Essentially, yes.
That sounds a bit invasive, to say the least.
It's definitely raised a lot of eyebrows and sparked debates about data privacy.
I can imagine what kind of pushback have they received.
Data protection authorities in several countries have launched investigations into WorldCoin over these privacy concerns.
Okay, so they're facing some regulatory scrutiny.
Quite a bit, actually, and Kenya, which was one of the early adopters of WorldCoin, suspended their operations entirely.
Wow, so even governments are getting involved.
They are. It's a sensitive issue.
So, what's the current status of WorldCoin? Are they still operating?
Despite the controversies and regulatory hurdles, they're still operational in many parts of the world.
So they're pushing forward.
They are. They've continued to develop their technology and expand their user base, but the long-term viability of their project remains uncertain.
It seems like they're walking a tightrope between innovation and addressing concerns about data privacy.
They are. It's a delicate balance.
WorldCoin is a prime example of how crypto projects can raise complex questions about the role of technology in society.
and the importance of balancing innovation with responsibility.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here today, exploring a whole spectrum of crypto scams.
From those mimicking legitimate businesses to those exploiting the allure of cutting-edge technology.
And we've even touched upon the ethical quandaries of projects like WorldCoin.
It's been a comprehensive overview of the risks and rewards of the crypto world.
It has, and I hope our listeners feel more informed and empowered to navigate this space safely.
Me too. Knowledge is power, and the more you understand, the better equipped you'll be to avoid these pitfalls.
So before we move on to the final segment of our deep dive, I want to remind our listeners of a few key takeaways.
All right, hit us with those key takeaways.
Always do your research. Choose reputable exchanges. Be skeptical of unrealistic promises and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Solid advice. Can't stress those points enough.
And remember, knowledge is your best defense against scams. So stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay safe in the ever-evolving world of crypto.
Well said. The crypto world can be exciting, but it's important to approach it with caution and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay, let's move on to the final part of our deep dive, where we'll discuss some actionable steps you can take to protect yourself from crypto scams.
Let's do it. Let's empower our listeners to navigate the crypto world with confidence.
Okay, we're back and ready to arm you with the knowledge you need to stay safe in the crypto world.
That's right. It's all about being informed and empowered.
Exactly. We spent a good chunk of time exploring the dark side, all those scams that have unfortunately become so common.
Yeah, it's important to be aware of those pitfalls.
It is, but now let's shift gears and focus on what you can actually do to protect yourself.
Practical steps, actionable advice.
Exactly. So let's break it down. What's the first thing someone should do if they're interested in exploring crypto?
First and foremost, choose a reputable cryptocurrency exchange.
Okay, the exchange, that's where you'll be buying, selling, trading your crypto.
Right. And don't be tempted by those shady offers you might see online, those promising unrealistic returns.
Yeah, those are all over the place.
Stick to well-established exchanges that have a solid track record.
So do your homework on those exchanges.
Absolutely. Look for ones that are well-known, have a good reputation, and ideally are regulated in your jurisdiction.
Makes sense. So you've chosen an exchange. What's next?
This is the most important part. Do your own research.
The golden rule of investing.
It applies to crypto as well. Don't blindly follow the hype or rely on celebrity endorsements.
So not just jumping on the bandwagon of the latest trending coin.
No, take the time to understand the fundamentals of blockchain technology and how cryptocurrencies actually work.
Okay, so dig a little deeper.
Read white papers, explore project websites, look for independent reviews and analysis from trusted sources.
So it's about really understanding the technology, the team behind the project, the whole picture.
Exactly. Look for transparency and accountability.
Okay, that makes sense. What about those social media influencers who are always promoting the next big crypto?
Be very cautious about following investment advice from social media influencers.
Right, because they often have their own agendas.
They do. They might have financial incentives to promote certain projects.
So their advice might not always be in your best interest.
Exactly. Always do your own research and verify any information before you make any decisions.
So don't fall for the hype. Don't get caught up in the fear of missing out, that FOMO.
Right. Take your time, do your due diligence, make informed decisions based on facts, not emotions.
Solid advice. And speaking of things that sound too good to be true, what about those promises of high returns?
Be very wary of those. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Those promises of 100x returns in a month, those are usually a red flag, right?
Huge red flag. Those are classic hallmarks of scams and pump and dump schemes.
So don't get lured in by those promises of quick riches.
No. Investing in crypto, like any investment, involves risks.
Right. It's important to have realistic expectations.
Absolutely. And never invest more than you can afford to lose.
That's the golden rule of investing in general.
It is. Crypto markets are volatile. There's always potential for price swings.
Okay, good to keep in mind. What about security? We've heard about all these hacks and scams. How can people protect their crypto assets?
Security is crucial. Start by choosing strong, unique passwords for your exchange accounts and wallets.
Okay, strong passwords, got it.
And enable two-factor authentication, or 2FA, for an added layer of protection.
2FA, always a good idea.
And be cautious about phishing scams.
Right, those are everywhere these days.
Legitimate exchanges and wallet providers will never ask for your private keys or passwords via email or social media.
So never share those with anyone.
Never, and always double-check the URL of any website before you enter your login credentials.
Okay, so be wary of those suspicious links.
And when choosing a wallet to store your crypto, consider using a hardware wallet.
Hardware wallet, what's that?
It's a physical device that stores your private keys offline, making it much more secure than a software wallet.
Oh, so it's like an extra layer of protection against hacking.
Exactly. Think of it like a safe for your crypto.
Okay, great advice. We've covered a lot of ground here today, giving our listeners practical tips on how to navigate the crypto world.
I think we've equipped them with the knowledge they need to stay safe and make informed decisions.
I hope so. The crypto landscape is constantly evolving, so it's more important than ever to stay informed and be vigilant.
It is, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Seek guidance from trusted sources. Connect with the crypto community.
There's a wealth of information out there for those who are willing to learn.
Exactly. The crypto world can seem intimidating at first, but with the right knowledge and mindset, it can be an exciting and rewarding space to explore.
Well said. And remember, this is just the beginning of your crypto journey.
Stay curious, stay informed, stay safe.
That's it for today's deep dive into crypto in India.
We hope you found it valuable.
Until next time, happy exploring.